I cannot believe that if you took this to your leadership and showed them the visibility that they're going to have into these opportunities, because Salesforce or your CRM just isn't always enough. This is another layer on top of that. I just can't see how they're going to say no.
Hey everyone, my name is Elay Cohen, and I am the CEO of SalesHood. So excited to be here for this amazing interactive interview webinar, all about how KPA and Kelly have been able to dramatically lift win rates, drive up buyer engagement with digital sales rooms. And I'm super pumped. Kelly is an amazing enablement practitioner. She's got really a great story to tell.
I'm Kelly Pinkerton. I'm the Director of Enablement here at KPA. Eli, thank you so much for having me on the call today. I'm very excited to dive
Beautiful.
into how we're utilizing the digital deal rooms.
You know, we're on a mission to help organizations up-level how they go to market, to improve the productivity of their teams. And when we can see companies like KPA really delivering amazing value to their buyers, to their sellers, to the organization, it's so important that we tell the story. We're going to dig in today. We're going to have a really great session. We want everyone to understand the why, like why KPA leaned into digital sales rooms, how they did it, the benefits. And we're also super fortunate Kelly's going to do a demo and show us some of her system too. It's always great to see. And so Kelly, I think let's just start with you know, a little bit about why digital sales rooms, why now at KPA. Maybe give us some of the context of what's going on in your business.
Sure. So when I rejoined the organization last February, I came back, I was doing my assessment of the overall health of the sales org, and it was quickly identified that our sales org was having a lot of the same challenges that a lot of other sales orgs have. Deals were slipping. We thought we were talking to whom we thought was a champion, only to find out at the end that, oh, we didn't have the right person. We didn't really know what we were sending to them. Everybody was doing something different, which then automatically led me to believe our reps are spending a lot of time building out content to share with the buyer, sending here and there via numerous emails. It was very easy to have that conversation with leadership, with my chief sales officer first, and then executive team about, I have a solution for this. It's SalesHood. And one of the components that I'd like to discuss is the digital deal rooms and just having the ability to streamline, make things scalable, to bring everything into one spot. Let's take it a step further and let's standardize the content with the content pack functionality so that
Yeah.
sellers don't have to find this stuff. We've got it here for you. And now they have the ability to personalize with that video. It's a good thing to have. So that's what started the conversation and how we got the ball rolling with moving forward with SalesHood, focus being on the digital deal rooms first.
Yeah. Which is so fascinating, right? A lot of times enablement practitioners will start with training, onboarding, coaching, and kind of an internally facing enablement initiative. You really started with something kind of buyer centric. Tell us kind of what motivated that kind of starting point.
Yeah, so it was a couple of things. One, before I left the first time, we have a learning management system that we actually sell. So I built out our onboarding into our own tools. So that was already pretty well set enough. Always room for improvement. But I knew bringing in a new tech stack to a company like KPA, I needed something that would drive value and impact and increase our wins right now. That was digital deal rooms.
Yeah, I love it. Impact. We hosted an event here this week with about 20 enablement practitioners, and that was the question of the day, like, how do you drive impact? And I think digital sales rooms actually is the way to do it. And we're going to get there. But yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, the levels of engagement that we can see now, our sellers are just like, oh my gosh. And now they're seeing, hey, there's somebody else viewing the site, somebody they didn't even know, another stakeholder on the buyer side, right? Like that was all the good stuff I knew would come. So it's really great to hear the reps saying, I have that visibility now. I'm more engaged. My deals are moving faster. My opportunity values are larger because we have this constant engagement with the buyer. All because of these digital deal rooms.
Be good to understand a little bit about kind of KPA.
So KPA, we're a compliance safety first company with a focus on environmental health and safety. So everything around OSHA regulations, FTC compliance around advertising, sales and finance, privacy and safeguards. And then we have an HR component, but it is a true, complete digitized platform for all your compliance regulatory needs. We partner with our customers to help them identify, remedy, and prevent those future risks to keep people safe. And we're doing that through our software, our award-winning LMS, learning management system,
Yep.
and we have expert consultants on site.
Got it. So compliance, you keep people safe. That sounds like a lot of buyers, a lot of decision makers, long sales process.
Sometimes,
Sometimes longish, right?
yes, it
And,
can. We're fit for all industry verticals. So
oh,
that's
nice.
how, segueing into how do we build out these digital deal rooms? We made them specific to those industry verticals. What's important to them? What are their compliance requirements? Because there's some nuances there. To again, make it as customer buyer centric as much as possible.
I think let's hit the punchline, because when we spoke, like, I saw the adoption data because I can look at it at a macro level, and KPA kind of was up there, and that's what motivated me to reach out. And again, congratulations. And then when we got on a call, like, tell me kind of what did you share with me around your benefits? Just to start. Let's talk there.
Yeah. So in a few months here now, 4 months now of rolling these out, we are seeing from our reps that are utilizing the digital deal rooms have leaned into this. Their win rates are increasing by 18 to 25%. And that's in a very short amount of time. So that's very exciting. I'm very excited to present this to our leadership team in a couple weeks during our QBR.
Oh, I love it. I love it. And I think you shared with me a fun quote that now you like sharing insights and reports. Tell me more about that.
Because that's what leadership wants, right? They want like immediate results of, how are we driving value? How are we increasing the win rate, moving through these sales cycles faster? I now have that, right? I now have actual metrics to show you it does work. So now what we need to do is make it mandatory for everybody. Everybody's going to use these. And outside of faster sales cycles, increasing win rates, the feedback I get from reps is that this level of engagement is a game changer. There's no more trying to text, call, get a meeting set. Maybe you have to have your SDR set the meeting, what have you. These are a lot of steps. It's taking time. What do we know? Time kills all deals. With the digital deal room, it's all right there. You got the chat function, real time conversations happening every
It's
day.
easy for you to kind of measure the engagement and see all the data and the insights. I'm just curious, just
It is. And I will say it's not just me, right? Like I have a phenomenal learning and development specialist, Jared Strathenke, he really owns rolling things out within SalesHood and other areas outside of digital deal rooms. So he keeps it current. He's always reporting on it. We're always looking at the
yeah,
numbers and seeing where we at, where we started to where we are now. So
beautiful.
yeah,
Again, congrats. The 18 to 25%, those are real numbers, and that's real dollars, and that's
yeah,
money that your sales leadership and your marketing leadership and your probably entire executive leadership team sees when they're looking at they're doing the tally at the end of the month and quarter. So that's direct impact from the program you rolled out and the initiative that you showed up to the organization and said, we have to do this. This is how we're going to improve the productivity of our teams. Really, it's stellar. It's stellar.
thank you. My reasoning also for the digital deal rooms going first was in order to get high user adoption of new tools, there has to be something in it for the reps, right? Or whoever your audience is that you're rolling the thing out to. Digital deal rooms were a direct, there's something big in it for you. So that was another big reason why I went that route first rather than focusing on onboarding or continuous learning. Like we'll get there and we'll do that. But this was kind of like a cool thing, something new and flashy for this group as well.
Yeah, that makes total sense. And as a former salesperson, you've got and also a former KPA, or you've got the credibility. You've been in the shoes
Sure.
of the team, and so you've got that credibility. So when you show up and say, "Hey, this is going to help you sell better, sell faster, win more deals," and yeah, we'll get to the training. Smart, super smart. I think it's a good lesson for everyone. I think really focus if you want to focus on impact. Focus on the WIFM, the what's in it for the rep, what's in it for the sales process, what's in it for the chief sales officer. So let's go through. You've got a phenomenal implementation plan and a framework, and kind of start us through it, right? So you got, okay, how did you get it? How did you roll it out? and just walk us through your steps. I think that's a really important thing. We've got a lot of folks that are using, some are evaluating, some are early. And I bet you even the ones that are using it are probably not seeing the same level of impact and adoption that you have. So there's some really great lessons here for everyone. So walk us through your implementation plan.
Sure. So the way I rolled it, or the way I went about it, was I'm a medic lady,
Yeah.
so I knew I needed some champions. So I started reaching out to all the reps, having one-on-ones, 10, 15-minute conversations. Through those conversations of asking, like, what kind of tools, what would be beneficial for you? Everything was about how can I make your life easier? Um, they started talking. And with the growth that KPA has had with our sales org, we have a lot of new faces. And it was really nice to start hearing, oh, I had used this tool at a previous company. It allowed me to see these things, do these things. That would be great. And I started collecting those. And I identified on each of our teams a couple of really strong champions that I knew would push this forward once we launched it. From there, it was going to my directors,
Yeah.
getting their buy-in. I was like, why don't you, do you have time to come to a demo? That was ran by Tate. It was great. They were in love with it. From there, it was, let me bring my chief sales officer on. He loved it. And then it was just presenting to the executive team, getting numbers right, and we were a go. We started implementation, I think like the first week in January. Jared, my learning and development specialist, was brand new. It was
Yeah.
second week because he started on the 6th of January. We did a soft launch on February 13th. By the 19th of February, post SCO, we had a 90, I wrote the number down, 98% completion on the digital deal room. So at SCO, Jared had put together this awesome like hype video
Yeah.
of SalesHood, the digital deal rooms, the experience that these reps were going to have. Everybody was super excited. It was one of our best sales kickoffs, maybe ever. And a lot of that had to do too. We brought all of our sales teams together, first time ever. So that was impactful. Everybody was hyped up, ready to go. Week later, on the 19th of February, we have 98% completion of the digital deal room training. So we did roll out both of those trainings already
Yeah.
curated in SalesHood. They had to create their own sites. They were like, this is so easy. I love it. Less than a month later, we had a 96% adoption rate of users across sales and marketing.
Wow. Okay. I love it. So I love actually where you started. You pulled the early adopters, the champions into your buying process. And you
Yes,
got buy-in like even before you made the buy.
that's right.
That's super smart. I love it. You're medic, you found your champions, and did those same people become the heavy users? You just see a correlation between those folks?
Oh, they all certainly are. Absolutely. Amongst some others as well.
No, that's
Yes.
great.
It all worked out exactly as I had hoped. Following process.
Yeah, so kickoff, and then you did post kickoff training. I love the hype video. I love the focus on what's in it for me. And then how did you help your teams adopt some of the, things inside of the sites, like the personalized videos, the branding, and the mutual action plans? Like how do you get them to start incorporating that into their process?
It was pretty easy, Eli. They like it. The fact that they could just record themselves delivering that personalized message right there in the site. That was like check for them because it wasn't record yourself using this tool, download it, upload it. It's all right here because it was easy. It's all in one spot. So it wasn't a heavy lift for us to have to
Yeah.
like keep driving that. Mutual action plans. I was actually looking through the sites the other day and they're being used a ton and in the right way. I can see where we are actually sharing this with our buyer, and I see the buyer initials in there, and they're crossing off, and they've got things laid out. So it's not been a heavy lift that way. I think what it was, we just had to bring it all together to create an easy, clear path for them. That was it.
What about what about content and product marketing? How did you collaborate with the marketing organization to get the content that you needed?
Marketing team as a whole is just a very tight organization. So it's not about quantity of content, but quality content. So again, pretty easy to, everything's very organized by our industry verticals, buyer types, to just bring that into a very concise, easy to understand and navigate format. And that's what we did. And then, of
Good.
course, we have the feedback loops, right? We're constantly asking our sellers, is this what you need? Is it missing anything? We update as those requests come through. New content does come out that would be pertinent, relevant, and we get those added.
Yeah. Beautiful. World class. I think, I think it'd be great to see kind of how a real live one, how do you use it at KP? Are you comfortable sharing? You want to show something?
Sure. So this is basically what we have. And then there are some additional tabs that our sellers are adding as they're progressing along in the sales process. So everybody has their welcome message. They're doing their own personalized messaging. Some of our reps go a little bit further and they even bring their directors in to also deliver that welcome personalized message. Everybody will have that shared content tab for them to be able to share anything additional they would like to be sharing outside of what we've already provided. We give everybody, here's our KPA Flex clients, right? And this is going to be specific to the buyers we're speaking to. So you can see and hear these are our proof of concepts. This is the real value that our customers are getting when they partner with KPA. We have links to any previous meetings. Again, you have your champion on, but the IT individual, HR, other stakeholders can't join. We can share all of our call recordings later in the sales process once we're having that meeting to review and go over pricing, packaging. That will then be added, uploaded here. Again, the goal is to get everything into one spot, not various emails going here and there. Everybody has access to see our demo site. We did link a lot of this stuff up to our own KPA site, which is managed by our marketing team. So it's always going to be the most current content we have available. We do review and go over our implementation and support. Again, once we're at that point in the sales process to be having those conversations around statements of work, everybody has access to our terms and conditions, training catalog. Again, you can go and see our trainings and view snippets. We do all of our training in-house, so they have access to do that right to our website. This is basically our model of here's the template, and then these additional tabs, like I said, the pricing, implementation, those are being added on later. Going into the mutual action plan. This is a mock one. That's why I had the other tab up so that you could actually see that's where the buyer was going in and she had her whole list of here's everything she's going to be doing internally as the EHS manager to get this going, get that buy-in and essentially sell on our behalf. We also add in our mutual action plans a little bit different. When we have any kind of conferences that are going on, shows that we're going to be attending in the area of these buyers, we're letting them know about it, right? We're encouraging them to come visit, come see us, bring your team. So we add those in there as well.
That is really smart.
It's working. It's working for us. And again, you won't have any insights here, but the insights are incredible when you can start drilling in there to see how long these folks are looking at said content. And you can very quickly identify what is important to them. And once you start looking at titles with those names, you can see why, or you can quickly identify that's your economic buyer. That's why this individual is looking at that proposal for 15 minutes versus somebody else who only looked at it for 40 seconds. So a lot of insights with the insights function.
Yeah. This is great. So here's what I'm hearing. Here's what I'm seeing on the chat. Thank you for walking through the demo. It's really remarkable. First comment is this is so much more than sharing content. It's delivering a world-class customer-focused experience, building trust. Well done. Well done, as you know. Love the upfront mutual plan. Takes out so much guesswork. And then Jacob commented and said, one of our sales VPs recently said the biggest benefit for his team is when it's time to send the quote to the CFO, instead of an isolated email, they see the full picture of the process and the supporting content, including CFO-like ROIs, and they don't need to restart the whole process, and it massively reduces the resistance because they can see the full picture.
It's transparency, right? That's what this is. It's just being transparent. It's not trying to pull wool over anybody's eyes or any of that. Just be transparent with your buyer. This is going to be
Yeah.
a partnership. Absolutely.
Hey, there was a lot of content there, and I'm curious as you're looking at a macro level, do you know what kind of content, it tends to be the most consumed by the buyers? Demos, reference stories, Zoom calls, replays, like what's your take? What's your observation, anecdotally?
I'll say, let me step back and say it depends on how are we using it. Is it our SDR using it for the prospecting outbound effort? Is it we're in an active buyer cycle, but at the very beginning? We're in an active buyer cycle very beginning. Individuals really do want to see the demo center and our trainings. Trainings are very important. And what makes ours so unique is that they are not only created in-house by our experts, but they're also industry specific. People do not want a general training more often than not to just go out to everybody, especially when we're talking to manufacturers, construction, auto industry. They want it to be more specific so that people are relating to it, because we know if people are engaged in training, we can start changing the behavior of our employees. And
Yeah,
for us, it's all about a safety culture.
it's
So
great.
those are what we see there in the beginning. And then as we move along, it's getting into the proposals, looking through that. It is viewing our T's and C's from the SDR aspect to outbound. That's a lot of demo, the short demos. We've recently released a hype video, a couple
Yeah.
more hype videos. So that has taken off a lot of engagement with those.
Folks are curious about the buying sentiment and the intent data. We're generating buying intent data. And what we're doing is, when you share a site with a prospect, maybe it's front of the funnel activity, like an SDR sharing it, or you've got an active deal, we're collecting the engagement data, meaning the buyers and the prospects and the contacts that are in the site, they start viewing content, they start downloading content, they start engaging with content, and that generates views and engagement. We're feeding that back into Salesforce. We're feeding that into Slack, so you can have it in the feed. And that intent data, the buying intent data, provides additional context for a frontline manager, for a head of sales, so that way they're able to get better judgment on the health of the deal and the health of the pipeline.
I would agree 100%. And am I able to show you, like, I can show you my insights tab from like what I'm looking at from our view. Would that work? Would that be helpful to see that?
Sure. Yeah, we let's take a peek.
So this is where I spend a lot of my time as the director of enablement, looking at what is the impact that these rooms are having on our buying process. So this is where we were last quarter. And then it was like, all right, so where are we so far this quarter?
Looks really easy to do the reporting.
It really is.
Yeah, I love
So we
it.
have just a lot going on. We also set up for our CSO to receive every week an automated report for any opportunity of like 600,000 or more, so that those higher level opportunities are front and center for him. He's in here all the time, which is amazing. Love it. But this is just how easy it is to take a look high level. Where are you at? And then as a leader, you can start drilling in to see what's going on with your opportunities.
For me, what is really powerful is we have an enablement leader who is driving real pipeline and revenue impact. It's proven, it's indisputable. It's not some attribution thing that you're trying to prove, like, hey, we did this training and we saw a pipeline lift. It's like there's a direct connection between the templates and the content and the engagement and the buyer feedback and whether the deal wins or losses. So that is kudos to you, Kelly, for the vision and for the
Thank
execution
you.
for making it happen. Really. Um,
Thank you.
yeah,
Yeah, we
it's
wanted everything to be intentional, right? Because that's, again, like you and I were talking the other day, Eli, right? It's like we focus so much on how challenging it is for sellers, but again, it's not about us. It's about our buyer. We know that they're doing 80% of their research before we even get on a call with them. So what do we need to do? We need to make it as easy as possible for this buyer. And that doesn't mean just throwing out a bunch of stuff and having them sift through it, at their leisure. It's about being intentional of what we're putting in front of them, specific to what their needs are, which is why they're here with us today.
yeah. We beautiful. We talked a lot today, about the active deal, and Kelly also talked about kind of the prospecting. And just for folks to appreciate, the digital sales room client side technology is also heavily used by customer success for new customer onboarding and for renewal business and for add-on business. And a lot of times folks appreciate the ability to do a handoff. So you could take the context, the history of the opportunity that lives in a digital sales room. You can assign ownership to a CSM, and you can do all that. And I think, Kelly, as we look forward into where you're going next, that's an area where you're going next, right?
It is. We've already dipped our toe into it. We are piloting it. So we have about 15 CS folks that are in there utilizing it now. I think we have a meeting with them in a couple more weeks to, again, let's get feedback. Let's hear how it's working. How are they utilizing it? What's the experience for our customers? And then the end goal for us will be everybody's in SalesHood, to include our consultants that are out there working with these customers, sharing information, right? We're all working from these sites, not only internally, but externally as well.
Yeah.
So I'll have more to come on the CS front.
Beautiful. Everyone that's listening now, anyone that's on the replay, just want to invite you. If you want a personalized demo, that demo was amazing. It's great to see it. If you want someone from my team to walk you through it so you can go deeper, would love to. We invite you to do a personalized demo. If anyone wants a trial, we've got a 7-day, excuse me, if anyone wants a trial, we have a 14-day trial that you can use as well. So you can pull in a team just like Kelly had done with her team, pulling in some champions, and you can build out a template and you can actually use it a bit and see the insights and have some fun with it. Because it's so important. I believe that there's a lot of options you have out there, and you want to make sure that the digital sales room technology you choose, it fits your go-to-market, it fits your business, it's easy to use, as you saw from Kelly. You can create because what we hear that many other companies out there, some of the larger CMS enablement companies, you know who they are, that it's actually not that easy for a salesperson to go in, grab a template, clone it, create it. And so that was our goal. Our goal with SalesHood, purpose built for salespeople to sell, purpose built for enablement folks to be able to roll things out quickly in an agile way. And then AI is there to kind of the superpower to make it all happen. And last thing here, if anyone is running an evaluation, we invite you to use our evaluation criteria. I'll send it out afterwards, and there's a link down below on the replay too. So a lot of resources available, from demos, trials, ebooks, and an evaluation criteria so you can get started. We're here to support you. And so that's that. And I know, Kelly, maybe comment for a moment on kind of how our team helps our customers be successful. So would love to hear your thoughts.
I am a big relationship person with vendors I work with, and really all aspects of my life. And I can confidently say, I mean this, I've never received the level of customer support that I do get from SalesHood. Danica is amazing. Even when I had Tate before Tate and Danica, equally it's amazing. But it is about, you have a question, I could text Danica, I could call her, she's on my Slack, but she actually responds. It's not like 2 days later, here's a response back. You guys hold those meetings with like Jared to review, how's the product working? What do you like? What do you not like? What are we missing? You really take that feedback and apply it. That's awesome. Where again, larger organizations don't always do that. So it's really the customer success, that relationship here. It's incredible.
Thank you for that. Thank you for that feedback. It means a lot to us. It means a lot to me. It really, really does.
Yeah.
All right. So final. What are some tips that you give someone that hasn't yet started with digital sales rooms? What guidance would you give them?
Go ahead and sign up for the 7-day demo with SalesHood and
Yeah.
get in there and experience for yourself just how easy it is to put a content pack together and to deploy this and to capture your personalized messaging. Share it with one of your coworkers to just see that level of engagement and ease of use that you're going to get with these digital deal rooms. I cannot believe that if you took this to your leadership and showed them the visibility that they're going to have into these opportunities, because Salesforce or your CRM just isn't always enough. this is another layer on top of that. I just can't see how they're going to say no.
Wow. Kelly,
Just
thank you so much.
thank you.
Congratulations to you and your team. It's just remarkable what you've accomplished in a short period of time. I think as we look on the future of selling and sales, and we look at the impact digital sales rooms are having on the buyer-seller relationship, it's just so great to be partnering with you, because together we're changing the way sellers sell and buyers buy, and we're doing it together. So thank you very much.
Absolutely. Thank you.